I'm just sticking around, but we're losing daylight here. Writing this song. Just came up with a new stanza. Doesn't feel like it happened, but I don't recognize the person that I've been. One step at a time, and then I know someday I'm gonna win. Gonna win. When and then when. What happened? Met a new friend for a coffee. Didn't really wanna go. Knew I'd hear it all again, and I can't hold my tongue, don't you know? No. The question again. Met a new friend for a coffee. Didn't really wanna go. Knew I'd hear the question again, and I can't hold my tongue, don't you know? No. I promise I'm not hearing voices. And I'm getting plenty of rest. No, you'll judge all of my choices. To preface, I promise I always did my best. My best. Bad for the heart. Good for the plot, good for the plot. Why not? Good for the plot, good for the plot, good for the plot, good for the plot. Bad for the heart. My best. Our psychology and our astrology. Left a bad taste in my mouth. Good stories, still lonely. This curiosity led to animosity and left a bad taste in my mouth. Transparent, you know I am. Am I really like sand. Okay, so this one's a little bit more angry in your face, and then I can laugh now. So I gotta get like into my musical theater mode. And did you notice the lights came on while I was singing? That was like super cool. I wonder if I'll just like post this video as like a, this is what songwriting can look like. I don't know. It's sometimes messy. And my voice doesn't sound good. And the notes that I sing aren't in key. But like, okay. But then I do better next time. And it's cool because then I know not to do that. But then, like, you know, sometimes I keep messing up. I keep making the same mistakes. But, like, at the end of the day, like, girl, I'm trying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying. I'm doing my, like, at least I'm, like, not giving up when I mess up. Like, how sad would that be? If I just didn't write music because sometimes the notes that I picked were off. And, oh, that's so embarrassing and humiliating. Oh, that doesn't sound right. She can't even sing all the time. How stupid does that sound? She can't even sing well every time she sings. Okay. Circumstances have to be good for a lot of things. Like, even like Olympians will do poorly or whatever, poorly for them, even though they're still incredible. Like, and we give athletes grace when they're not at their peak physical performance because of something. You know, like, why do we not give grace to everybody else when they mess up? That's why I didn't think I'd like going to open mics because, I don't know, I thought it was going to be like really judgmental and all of those things. And like, those are the types of things that I would hear from people, you know, but I mean, they're performances. I'm not songwriting in front of people, but I like going because I like seeing people in their, in this moment, in where they're at in writing a song or in their performance level, or, you know, like, it's really cool to see like where people are at, and then you keep showing up and they keep showing up and you get to see their growth, and like, you get to know their songs and be like, oh yeah, I love it when they do this one thing, and you get to appreciate these like acquaintances, neighbors, people in your community, new friends, making new friends. There's been people making bands that they met these people at open mics, because this is where you meet other musicians, and it's like a really fun community thing. Like, I didn't realize that this was the vibe. I avoided open mics for 10 years because I didn't know. But anyway, I think this video might be helpful for people who are afraid of making art because they're afraid of messing up. Like, whether it's songwriting and trying to find notes that fit well, or if you look back at my music catalog or my gaming or my YouTube videos, they're not perfect, because I understand that it's not going to be perfect every time. So I let myself say, that's good enough for now. I'm not going to let the perfectionism of this specific thing, like, ruin the entire thing for me. Like, for example, when I'm producing music and I can't get a certain one of my inputs or my vocals to sound exactly how I want it to, I make it sound as close as I possibly can. And if it doesn't sound right, like, sometimes, you know, I'll take it out, or I will just leave it, because I'm not going to keep futzing with one specific thing forever and not let myself enjoy the fact that I made that. Like, it's still pretty cool. I did that. I spent the time working on that. I spent the time futzing with it and trying to make it
perfect. And you know what? Next time I'll have a little bit more understanding of how everything is working, and I can, you know, maybe work on that thing better in the next project, you know, like work around that specific issue, or give myself a little challenge. Like I'm gonna, let's say, for example, I can't get the drums to sound a certain way for what I'm envisioning. I've used the auto drummer on GarageBand for a really long time, and when that wasn't working for me, I started going into the MIDI features more and doing specific drumming and like adding in exactly what I wanted. And that was something that I had to spend time working on, learning, poking through. And it was really frustrating because I'm not a drummer, and I don't know what all the sounds that I like actually are deconstructed. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that I have to like work on. And that's something that people will learn about in music school, whether they're, you know, in classes or they're actually sitting at a drum kit and they know what sounds they like. That's something that I had to work through. And like, it's not always fun. It's frustrating. But then when you get through it and you learn a little bit more, it's like so much more satisfying when you can say like, I put this project together and like, this was what I was really excited to work on in this project. And like, open mics are that you go there and you like say, I wrote this song. You can like talk about it too and like share this little thing. And it's like, it's not the judgment and the critique that you get in like a school classroom. I don't know about everyone else. I felt really judged and like my hard work wasn't appreciated in school. Like, I don't know, I just always felt like whatever I did was never good enough. And like in art classes, it was like the critiques would kill me. Like, I don't think I probably was given a lot of positive feedback, but that wasn't what I focused on. I focused on all the bad things and the reasons that I shouldn't do what I was doing. And it was like really discouraging for me. A lot of the things didn't feel like constructive criticism or like positive feedback and like encouragement and like building me up. I felt like everything I was hearing was giving me a reason to do something else. You know, like, does that make sense? Like, it felt very discouraging in my pursuit of art. Of course, I was a choir kid and a theater kid, and I really, really loved those things. And I spent a lot of good, happy times, a lot of positive things in those environments. But I'm just thinking overall, like, I really felt discouraged from pursuing music and art because it wasn't practical. And there were so many reasons that I shouldn't, because I'm not confident enough, or I couldn't follow directions, or my paper didn't make sense and I shouldn't be a writer because it didn't make sense. Which is like, I don't know. It was all of the feedback was so vague, right? So I got really discouraged from being around people and getting feedback, right? Because it never felt encouraging. But then going to these open mics, bringing it back as an adult, I'm bringing the positive energy, and that's also what I'm experiencing. I'm really enjoying watching people in their element and seeing what they're great at. And it's really encouraging. And then I get positive feedback from people, and I see myself growing too, and getting more comfortable and confident. And when I first started going, I was really impressed with people who'd be like, yeah, I wrote this song yesterday. I'm gonna sing it for you. I don't know if it's done yet. And I was like, LOL. These people just be like writing music. But I was like, it's because I was jealous, right? I was judging because I was jealous. But here I am. I go to these open mics and I'm like, here's a song I wrote yesterday. Or last week. Or whatever. The first time I did that was when I went to Floribama, the Frank Brown Songwriters Festival, 41st annual, and there were open mics, several open mics, and I sang Child of the Earth and Sea. And then the other one that I wrote on guitar, I played that. But honestly, I kind of hate playing guitar. I know I said I was going to play guitar more, and I even play guitar a little bit in one of my videos, but like I kind of really don't like playing guitar. I've been obsessed with my ukulele. I honestly take this with me everywhere. This is my emotional support ukulele. It's been in the back room at my work. And I'll like play it on my break sometimes because we can shut the back door and like everyone's out on the floor, so I can just be back there alone. No one hears me. It's out of tune. It's a lot different supporting, and I don't know. I decide that that's the experience that I want, a positive and uplifting experience. And so I try to foster that in the environment. Of course, there are days where I'm like so zonked because I'm working 3 jobs. I'll be working 4 jobs next week. Starting next week. Well, next week? 2 weeks from now. So sometimes I'm not able to bring that vibe to the function. But I really try to bring the vibe to the function. And then hopefully I will experience the vibe that I'm embodying. And I can also provide that for other people. And you really have to opt in or opt out, right? Some people opt out. And sometimes I opt out, right? But if you're determined to have a good time, you're probably going to have a good time. If you're determined that today's a terrible day and everything sucks and you're going to get judged and everyone there hates you, you're going to see evidence of that, and that's what you're going to experience. But I have been trying really hard to stay in a positive mindset all the time, bring the vibe to the function. And some days are harder than others because sometimes I'm around people that bring a different vibe to the function, and that vibe outweighs the vibe that I like to experience. But you gotta try. At least I try. At least I try to be a little better every time. Sometimes it doesn't work, okay? I'm not perfect. We all make mistakes, just like songwriting and art. Life is messy. We might make the same mistakes over and over again, even though we're trying really hard, right? We're gonna accidentally hurt people. We're gonna accidentally, bring the wrong vibe to the function and maybe get a few weird looks, even though we're trying really hard to be positive. At the end of the day, all you gotta do is just keep trying and forgive yourself because, yeah, you're gonna mess up. Yeah, it's not gonna be perfect. You gotta, crack a few eggs to make an omelet. Know what I'm saying? You gotta move and groove to and that's what I've always said. I'm gonna sing one more song and then I gotta go home. I don't think I have that much storage left on my phone. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. At least I try to be a little better every time. At least in some kind of way. Just my mindset, if not the actions that I take. Autopilot, don't know yet which road I would take. Gotta think about every step I take. Always tell myself it's gonna be okay. I'm never given more than I can take. I'm sorry that I hurt you when my focus was somewhere Didn't mean to take you for granted when I was trying something different. At least in some kind of way. I don't know all the order of these stanzas yet. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. I wish I was. I wish I was. I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. At least I try. Be a little better every time. At least in some kind of way. Just my mindset, if not the actions that I take. Gotta be grateful for every little thing, 'cause so far everything's turned out mostly okay. I'm never given more than I can take. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. I wish I was. I wish I was. So, one thing that I am working on is my strumming patterns, because I kind of only have one right now. I do have the... I think I rushed this one, though. These are things that I'm working on as a musician. So maybe it's helpful to you that the process. Took the toaster down to New Orleans and I lost myself my ukulele. Don't know what most of it means, but I think I found some other parts of me, and they said that I'd go far if I stay so
a shot or two. Oh, New Orleans should have heeded their warnings. The voodoo hoodoo vortex turned me into a fool for you. Ooh, New Orleans should have heeded their warnings. Walked around the quarter all day long, feet swelling up like softballs, but I still sang my songs. Then walked around the quarter underneath the stars, buying liquor at corner stores, 'cause I couldn't afford the bars. So they said that I'd go far if I stay sober, aim true. And I heard them as I threw back another beer or two. Oh, New Orleans should have heeded their warnings. The voodoo hoodoo vortex turned me into a fool for you. New Orleans should have heeded their warnings. Woulda, coulda, should have heeded their warnings. Woulda, shoulda. They said that I'd go far if I stay sober, aim true. I heard them as I threw back. No, I heard them as I packed up another bowl or two. Oh, New Orleans should have heeded their warnings. The voodoo hoodoo vortex turned me into a fool for you. New Orleans should have heeded their warnings. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Woulda, coulda, shoulda heeded their warnings. I'm still figuring out placement on this one in my voice. I'm pushing it too much. It's also kind of cold in here. So yeah, those are some things that I'm working on. I hope this messy songwriting session was interesting to you, and if it was, please let me know in the comments. That actually means a lot to me. I always felt weird about like asking people to like and comment, right? But like at the same time, I really do want to hear from the people that are watching my videos. Like, do you like my content? Do you have any thoughts about the things that I've said? Because it feels like I'm talking to myself, and which is fine. I'm trying to like really focus on like real world and not internet, because the internet is not the real world. And like, as much as we say that and we understand that, it's really hard to not think about like where you fit in the world based on how everything looks on the internet. So like traveling and going to open mics and being in the real world is actually like so refreshing, and I'm so glad that my phone broke on my trip. This is the one that I got after, and I've been on it too much, honestly. But those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you and hear your thoughts. Have a beautiful evening. It's about to be 414 day in a couple days, which is April 14th. Milwaukee's area code is 414. Like, when you dial a phone number, beep, 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 414, da, 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 is usually a Milwaukee number. Personally, I don't have a 414 number because I was from the next town over. But it's 414 day in a few days, so I'm really excited to spend this like Milwaukee week.
going and spending time in my community. I work for a few local businesses, and I'm excited to spend time working and supporting these local businesses that I work for, and supporting local musicians, and it's just going to be a great time. So I hope you also find something interesting and exciting to interact with in your community. That, I think, is all for me tonight. Have a beautiful, I love you so much.